Hello again everybody and a very warm welcome back to the channel. I hope you're well. Got some more Christmassy style jingles for you guys today as well, and we're starting our journey 2.5 hours long for flight today out of the new Tailstrike Designs Prague airport for Microsoft Flight Simulator, and we're off to Bergen in Norway. Another new Payware scenery created by the folks at RDPreset. Hello to all of you guys in the live chat. We've got Mark, MPS Gaming, Liam. Hello folks, Badger, Dursey2, Gav, good evening to you. Zato, Maciek, welcome guys. Hope you're good, and everyone else watching as well, wherever you are in the world. Birdman, welcome. Liam, that doesn't sound too great. Hopefully you get it sorted. Now, of course, well, this is actually the second Payware option available for Prague's scenery. I can't remember who's created the previous version, actually, to be honest. We've got this one, which is Tailstrike Designs. You can get it on, I believe, the Aerosoft website. They might release on Contrail as well, I'm not sure. But it's certainly available on aerosoft.com, and the link for this is in the description below. I'm trying to think of the other developer that we... Is it Orbex? I think it's Orbex that have created a version of Prague Airport as well. Both quite similar, actually, it has to be said. This one is the newest of the two. But from what I've seen so far, it actually looks pretty good. They've made efforts to have taxiway edging lights and all that sort of thing included in it as well. MPS Gaming, nice, you've got the Orbex version. If you've got the Orbex one, as I have, though I can't really remember it particularly well, let us know what you think in comparison to what you're seeing on the stream as we make our way around. Doc, hello buddy, thank you for creating the route today. Not gate 30 though, Doc, FYI, I'm gate 22 just because it's a heavy stand, so I've not been able to park on 30. I believe this has an interior. There we are. AR Simulations, welcome. Just some decent little decorations and you know, things that they've done inside the terminal as well. In fact, the roof, I have to say, the roof itself with that floating ceiling is pretty cool. There's a lot of detail in this one. Sato says the Orbex version is not even close to the level of detail on this one. Fantastic. Nice gate rooms, actually. Look at that for a glass. Those of you who have been to Prague Airport will know, weirdly enough, you have to go past the gates. It's all security free until you get into the gate room, and then you end up through security itself. Let's have a look at this screen. I want to see how clear it is. I mean, it's not mega, but you can make out Birmingham, Heathrow, Doha, and so on. Zato, yeah, very nice. Created a X-Plane Rotate MD-80 retrojet. Snazzy. What have we got this side of the airport as well? We've got a section in the departures hall. I mean, that looks great, doesn't it? Look at that. Orbex doesn't have an internal design. Interesting. Let's pop in through the glass. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Look at that. Smart Wings, one of the airports based here. The airlines based here, I should say. I've still got a bit of night shift brain fog, by the way, so expect some mistakes. It's been, yeah, I find the more nights I do, the longer it takes for me to recover as well. Very goodies. Oh, that's a great looking vending machine. Thomas, hello, welcome. What have we got on the big old departures board there? Let's see. We'll stop the camera and see if we can read it. That is fantastic. Yeah, the externals on Orbex's Prague are very nice, as MPS Gaming is saying, but this is a another level entirely. It looks great, doesn't it? Let's buzz over towards our aircraft, shall we? Here we are, the Osprey A310, new paint scheme created by Paddy. In fact, there's a control tower here somewhere, isn't there? That's not our aircraft, by the way, that's somebody else. There's a tower over here. Here it is, look at that. Bit of a misplacement there with that flashing light. That's something that I'd like to see them fix, because wow, that's really bright. But the actual tower design looks incredible. Devello, hello, how about performance comparing to Orbex scenery? No noticeable difference, actually, to be honest. Good grief, look at the ATC tower screens. Look at that. Peter, welcome. Ian, hello to you, saying, is there a new VMI file at all? Not for the A310, actually, just yet. I haven't had a chance to update it. Good point, no. I do need to do that. Okay, let's head down to the aeroplane. Yeah, all round, actually, really impressed with this. It's a very nice scenery. The custom ground textures look fantastic from above. We've got a custom GSX profile for Bergen as well, folks. Hugh, hello. Hopefully. I'll stick them all in economy. Here we are. We are created by Paddy, fantastic livery creator that worked on the Osprey 146. Mark says, opening a can of worms here, do we really need full internal detail? How often are you going to go into the terminal? Nice to see a bit from the cockpit, I admit. Yeah, there is that. I think it's nice for the level of immersion that you get, but again, I'm inclined to kind of agree with you in the sense that you don't really need internal scenery, do you? You don't need the internals of an airport creating, because you spend most of your time externally. GSX is doing its thing, loading on the last couple of pallets, and we can begin to... Yeah, Doc, you did. I mentioned it a little while ago, actually. I did mention that I've had to go for 22 because of the being a heavy gate. The other gates were quite small. Right, into the flight deck. And while we're here, we will fire up Navigraph and have a look at our route for today. So we are departing north out of Prague, runway 24, so initially heading west and then turning northbound up through German airspace, all the way through Germany, Denmark, and then up into Norway. And currently, the weather is giving us the ILS Whiskey runway 17 approach, which is going to mean we're going to have this beautiful descent through the fjords and then back towards the airfield with a southerly approach into Bergen. Looking forward to it. RDPreset, good developer as well. So end to end, a very good standard of Payware to enjoy today. Starting our journey from the north apron, stand 22. We're going to push start north, and we're going to taxi hotel all the way down the apron onto Alpha, and then hold point Alpha runway 24. From there, the VENOX 5 Alpha departure. Initially runway heading 240 degrees to Papa Romeo 402. And then we're going to turn northbound, as we mentioned, up to VENOX, and away we go. Cruise of flight level 360 today. Now, I'll admit again, this probably is a bit of a prep the excuse sort of thing, if you like. I am not that great with this, so I'm going to make lots of mistakes in the A310. I'm still learning the aeroplane, but we'll give it a go. We'll give it a good old shot. So we want a SID from LKPR, runway 24, VENOX 5 Alpha. We'll insert that, and then we will pop down to Bergen, Star, ILS Whiskey 17 via Gilva, and we want the BADAB 2 November arrival. So we'll insert that. I hope it doesn't change, because I know some people have had WASM module freezes and things with this aeroplane. Okay, and we need our takeoff performance now as well. Lots to do, lots to do. Runway length 3716, 245 on the heading, and it's got the wind in the QNH. And our weight for takeoff is 122.4 tons. We go 15-15. Air conditioning on, anti-ice off. And we'll have a look to see what it gives us. Okay, so a flex of 57. V1 158, 162 rotate, 165 V2, 175 would be our V2 plus 10. Bit of a crosswind for departure as well, 330 at 8. Ashley, hello. Yes, it is. The one that's free is created by a company called iniBuilds. They've sold it to Microsoft for the 40th anniversary update of the Microsoft Flight Simulator franchise, which is very nice. For PC users, it gives you a 162. Oh no, that's what I'm doing. One. It's the preset thing, isn't it? Again. 165 preset. 175. So that's that all set. What's our altitude here? 1,200. So actually I'll leave that as it is because it's 1,000 feet above ground level. Plus it's easy to just leave it as it is. Init A, Init B, block fuel. This is kind of, those of you who haven't flown the Airbus A310 yet, it's a little bit of a blend of Airbus meets Boeing. It's quite weird. Very interesting to fly though, 13.3. Strange little click spot there. Zero fuel weight of 104.5. And the takeoff gross weight 122.4. Perfect, that's bang on with that 0.4 taxi fuel taken into account there. Zero fuel weight centre of gravity. Don't know if it's on here actually. There we are. 26.9%. And 0.7 up on the trim. 26.9. And then on the trim, 0.7 up, which is about there. And I think we are done on boarding. Boarding complete, prepare for pushback and departure. And we'll have some de-icing. Yeah, let's go V2 plus 10 on departure, Matt check. Where's the init page? Flight level 360, Mach of 80, sorry, cost index of 80 will give us Mach decimal 80. Is the A310 still on Xbox any good? It's very different. You don't get the additional pack, which is exceptionally good with this on PC. Get that Pro Peats on. Working down the panels, and that's all looking good. We've got seatbelt signs on, no smoking signs on automatic. Might as well leave them on. Galley is on shed, APU power is off. And that is us ready to go. Left forward cabin not closed. That'll close in a mo. But I think we can do it in here somewhere. This one? No, this one. There we go. Space Ace, welcome buddy. Thank you for joining us as a silver frequent flyer. Great to have you on board with us.
Aircraft is ready for treatment.
Where's my air conditioning?
We begin treatment now and observe. Fluid type 1, concentration at 75%. I will call you back when ready.
Just turn the aircon off. Otherwise we gas people. Chetan, hello buddy. Doing well today, thank you very much. Yeah. Thank you for asking. That's all good. Let's see if we can spot these anti-ice folk doing their thing. Oh, who's the EasyJet? Des2 says also just do not touch the secondary flight plan page. There's still an issue with it. Interesting. Prague traffic, Osprey 165 A310 on stand 22. Push start facing north after some de-icing. Prague traffic. Flex was 57, wasn't it? Yeah, 57 degrees. So up here we can go flex temperature 57 like that. It's got that thrust modulation system. And the runway heading that we need is 240.
De-icing and anti-icing completed. Anti-icing code is fluid type 1, concentration at 75%. I'm disconnected. Good day.
I think Fly Live is working. Let's just refresh it. Yeah, interestingly, I'm getting 20 frames per second at the moment, which is odd.
Due to icing conditions, please stand by for engine start until push completed and brakes set.
There we are. Nubrick says, really hope RDPreset update and overhaul their Naples scenery soon. Really bad performance, multiple annoying bugs, and it doesn't even look nearly as good as their Bergen. Interesting. I've not seen their Bergen scenery yet. Their Rotterdam V2 is very nice.
Hello, Captain. We're ready for pushback.
Christopher, yeah, Prague's nice. Got some really nice detail with it. Have to excuse that EasyJet that's plotted himself there. We're going to have to just push through him.
Prague traffic, Osprey 2472 is Pushback from stand 15, face into the northwest. Prague traffic.
And I'm going to slow down this drone camera. Rotation speed. Don't want to interrupt pushback. We want to toggle the jetway though, but we can't do that. It will do it itself. That's all good. 128, 2000. We want the nose left, tail right.
Release parking brakes. Commencing push.
Okay, let's do it. Fuel control levers are off.
Stand by for engine start until push completed and brakes set.
Start mode A. Yeah, the jetties didn't really release themselves, that's fine. And engine 1 start. %, on the M1, that'll do. Let's get the fuel control lever to run. Dusty says, is anyone having issues with runway lights? I landed at Keflavik last night, but the runway and taxi lights were off, wondering if this is a new sim update 11 issue. We've done a few nighttime flights with approaches that were fine. Is it the MK Studio scenery by any chance? I know that has mixed reviews. Love that little snap across the CRT monitors. What I'd like to see with the iniBuilds Heathrow scenery would be Jedi and Vader being like a toggleable, so you can toggle it to be active for really realistic ops. Engine fuel control lever 2 to run. Really nice pushback by GSX there. This is not using any sort of profile for it. It's just trying to detect where the line is and just done its thing. You can download this livery on flightsim.to as well, folks. I'll put it on the website, britishavgeek.com too.
Set parking brakes.
Waiting for confirmation for good engine start.
We've got it. So while he walks towards the nose wheel, let's give him the signal.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
175, 5,000, 240. That's not relevant. We want to have profile and nav armed in a moment. Let's do that now actually. Flaps. So we go slats 15. We want flaps and slats 15, 15. Get that on flight plan page. Let's get that on the takeoff page for that performance calculations. And we will do
Unlocking gear.
right, left, all the way back. Iran Air have a younger fleet age than Osprey. Very nice. At least that's something for them to be proud of.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed. Left is clear. Right is clear.
APU bleed off. Master switch off. Let's go the ignition onto continuous relight. Wing supply for the anti-ice. Those lights to taxi, put strobes on auto. Let's get these out of the belly as well, get them ready to go. And we will put galley power back on as well. Everything else looks good. And we're on auto pressure. So, brakes off. He still hasn't said have a good trip. Where is he and what was he doing? Please release parking brakes immediately. Does it want me to set them or release them? Have a good trip. That'll do. Prague traffic Osprey 165 taxiing to hold point Alpha runway 24 via Hotel and Alpha. That's all good, that's all on. Let's go to QATO, let's close those, that's looking fine. And we are rolling on idle.
Heading north.
I think we need to go right here. Because this is hotel, I believe. Takes us past the terminal building. Depot Dolphin says, I got the GSX the other day, very cool for realism. The pushback takes a hot minute to get used to though. Yeah, it certainly does. But once you get used to it, very, very nice indeed, isn't it? Mark, yeah, pretty much. The taxi lines here, look at that. We've got blue, orange, both the lines there. We've got the yellow centre line for taxiways, various different systems there. I'd imagine they'd be giving us a little spray to say goodbye. There's another Osprey A310 looking good.
Traffic, Osprey 2472 Heavy is taxiing to runway 24.
Ant, hello, welcome.
Hotel, and we'll hold at Alpha. Prague traffic.
Information Alpha, hello to you, welcome. Here we go. Second time you've done this. Information Alpha, folks, he likes to stream our videos from some of the coolest places possible, i.e. at 32,000 feet, as he is today on an American Airlines flight from Heathrow to Charlotte. Was it about 6 months ago as well, wasn't it? You were streaming one of our flights, again on a Virgin Atlantic flight going across the Atlantic using the satellite Wi-Fi. Very cool indeed. I don't know if you guys have noticed this. Look at the wings just gently bouncing away as we taxi on the tarmac. That is incredibly good. Look at that. That's some of the best wind flex I've ever seen. Capricorn, hello to you. Yeah, we tend to nearer towards Christmas. Certainly, I think yesterday might have been the Fly and See Santa event, which we missed. Actually, no, not often. If we have a brand new aircraft or one that definitely can't be flown on VATSIM, then usually we'll fly on something like jointfs.net, which is like VATSIM, but it's a lot more casual with no ATC. There's a plain white jet there, I'm not sure who that is. Right, we are all ready to go, so let's just get the lights all set. Nose wheel light on, we've got system 1 on for that, that's all good. Put engine anti-ice off, because we don't really need it, we've just done anti-ice of course on the ground. Prague traffic, Osprey 165 is lining up via Alpha runway 24 and taking off BADAB 2 November departure, Prague traffic. Here we go. Oh, I'm really impressed with the runway textures. The lights look great. I mean, look at that. The blue taxi lights as well. They've made a really good amount of effort getting that to look fantastic. And just over the road there looks like some sort of shopping district. So they've not just done the airport, they've done the environment around it, which is really good to see. Okay, so holding it on the brakes, that's all good, that's all set, happy with that, the trim is set. Flex 57.
Traffic control NEDIK 1517, taxi.
I'll leave the wing anti-ice on, might as well.
Alpha.
Stick goes forwards.
Short runway 24 Alpha.
Toga. Speed's alive. Those pappies look really good as well. Look at the runway textures. Got quite a bit of a crosswind for this departure. Wind's coming from right to left. So I'm trying to angle the aileron against it a little bit. 120. Using up a lot of runway here. Strange little swerve to the right there, which is odd. Come on, big long runway. V1, rotates. That was very weird for a flight dynamics. Positive rate, gear up. Flight directors haven't caught up.
Too low, terrain. Too low, terrain. Too low, gear. Too low, gear.
Very weird.
Gear. Too low.
What have we missed?
Too low, gear. 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 Too low.
Last time we flew this, did it try to kill us? Very weird. Right, now it's caught up. Let's just get flaps away a little bit so we hold a faster speed. It's profile nav. That was weird, for sure. Let's keep it going to 360. I was kind of looking around then thinking, what have we missed for it to suddenly think that the gear is... I think maybe we just didn't press the takeoff config test button. Unless we missed something else. Can't see anything up there that would indicate we missed something. Let's get rid of the slats. And away we go. That was a trippy problem, wasn't it? Little trippy departure. Was it the A310 last time that tried to push us nose down and sink us into the other bits? V2 speed on the FMC, which is what we set that. We set that. Which actually should have commanded a much higher... Oh, Salim. It is, isn't it? That's it. It's the fact that this aircraft doesn't have a... So the Toga keybind doesn't work. Well remembered. I should have pressed that. That's the Toga keybind, isn't it? But what's weird is when I press the Toga keybind on my throttle, it still spooled the engines up to the rate, to 94%. So I don't really get it. Odd. They need to sort that Toga button out, because I'd rather it work with the keybind designed for it to be working with it, if that makes the same. If that makes sense. Anyway, we are airborne without crashing. We're through 10,000 feet already because this thing is a rocket. So we can turn all those lights off. Hold on, where the heck is it going? That's really overshot the turn. Oh, nice VATSIM. Ocean dark breast. Very cool. Right, anyway, 10,000 and away. Really good livery, it suits it very well. Hopefully we don't bugger up the approach into Bergen then.
Ground traffic control, Nordic 1517, takeoff, runway 24.
In on 2, set standard pressure. They're matching, they're paired off together nicely. Yeah, Birdman, so that there is the only button that you should press for Toga in the A310. I always forget it because every single other aeroplane that we fly, my Toga button that I've got mapped, I press that and it works absolutely fine. So because of that, I pressed it rather than pressing that button there. Hey ho. But again, this is something that they should have really have thought about. I don't want to have to remember to press a button when I've got a button on my throttle, which supposedly should do the same thing as it does on other aeroplanes. Just overcomplication, isn't it? And we like things that integrate seamlessly. Sanders, welcome. Hello. How are you? I hope you're well. That's another question, actually. That's a good question, Thomas. Why is the ACARS button a Toga keybind? Yeah, that should be a button for ATC message. So when you get your ACARS message come through, it should light up and all that sort of stuff. But it doesn't have ACARS, does it? It's literally just sim brief integration in here, and that is it. Which I suppose is why they've used that as a keybind thing. But are they going to include ACARS in the future? If so, where are they going to move the button to next? Is it going to be down here? Part of me thinks it would have been better for them to create, well, you know, on the yoke here, this little button here. They could have animated that, turn that into a click spot or something like that. Or even animated the button on the throttle there for it to become a click spot for Toga. Or alternatively, like PMDG, animate a screw. Nice and easy. In fact, it could have been the little screw right in front of the above the PFD there.
Tailstrike traffic, Oscar 2472 heavy, lining up to take off, runway 24, expecting the Veno 5 Alpha departure. Tailstrike traffic.
Sanders, I certainly will be. Oh, that would be good automator, yeah, if they include it with the A300. That would be nice. Anyway, everything's looking quite stable now. Should probably leave the anti-ice on a little bit. It's still telling us TAT's in icing range. Okay, we're into German airspace already. For the first time as well, let's have a look at Palanta. They still haven't updated it to include the overlay features and some of the upgraded features, which is interesting. I'm very much looking forward to when that does release, but we are there. There's our little green line, which is our route so far along the flight planned route. Look how much it's bust that flight plan there, though. It's gone really wide and out, and then it's sort of playing catch up, but that's fine. We can live with that. Little bit of weather over Dresden at the moment as we then route north up towards Berlin, which is there in the center of the screen. And then through a little bit more weather the north of Germany as we head over Denmark and things. Should be quite cool. Great little route. We'll have a look in about 20 minutes or so. Once everybody's got airborne, we'll have a look at the little the train of people behind. No ATC though for us at the moment. Look at the ground down below. Look at that. Incredible satellite imagery with snow all over the place as well. That's very realistic looking. I think this winter the sim is going to excel itself with its visuals. Jay, good morning to you, welcome. That's not good. Night Shadow, good morning from the US. Thomas says the Hop integration is included with the fully digital radio option. That's not in MSFS, is it? I don't think. Unless it is, I've not heard of it before. APS Gamer, what happened? His 737 blew up. X-Plane for digital radio, nice. Peter's I'm in front, nice one. Sounds like we were all filmed during that departure as well. Somebody who was at Prague spawned in an EasyJet flight. Have basically videoed us all moving around the airport for it to become an unofficial Prague trailer for Tailstrike. Very nice. I look forward to seeing that in the future. Elliot, if you're watching. Akari says, I think 2 of us have forgotten to file a flight plan. Uh-oh. Do we know who? The clicking noise is somebody on .chat on vPilot. Yeah, who's forgotten to file a flight plan? It's probably worth rectifying that and filing one before we hit any ATC. If you've missed it. If you're not sure, go onto vPilot, press flight plan, and if it's blank or the departure and destination show an old route that you've flown, then you've not either fetched from server or filed the flight plan. I don't know who callsign NEDIK is. And Osprey 2472. Cheers, Akari. Thanks for letting us know. Yeah, always got to make sure we file the flight plans. I could have been Skyways 2472 actually. I think, yeah, actually, I think the Nordic flight. The Norwegian flight. I think that was MPS Gaming, but you crashed, didn't you? Or you had some sort of issue on departure. Information Alpha, yeah, certainly. First time flying into the new RDPreset BERGEN. I've had it for a few days. Like you said, it's sent about Friday time. But you've not had a chance to check it out just yet. Still haven't checked out the new iniBuilds Detroit. There's a lot of things to see all being released around the same time, so it's keeping us all a bit busy. Find us, we're kind of chasing all of these product releases, really. Be interesting to see how the RDPresets competes with or compares against the freeware BERGEN by Wombi Actual. That was pretty good. We've used that a lot in the past over the last few years. MPS Gaming, no problem at all. You could always depart from somewhere like Berlin and kind of catch up. You'll meet us on the way that way. Badger's miles ahead. He's northern Germany near the coast already. Information Alpha, so sad that you're moving to the US today. I'm missing out on so many product releases. But then you'll be training in real life though. Fantastic. So you're actually going off to the US to do your flying training. So either, well, it's probably going to be Thursday actually, if I'm honest. I think I might need to drive up north to see my mum in hospital tomorrow, so I won't be streaming tomorrow, I don't think. In all likelihood, I'll be trying to stream on Tuesday. At some point, I'll be looking to do the Mad Dog, fly the Mad Dog live, to see what happens. Who knows? I'd imagine it will go chaotic and go a bit wrong. Information Alpha, fantastic. Very best of luck for that. Jay says, are you still enjoying the Turtle Beach Velocity 1? I'm thinking about getting one for Christmas. It's really good, yeah, I do enjoy it a lot. I'd very much like to check out their yoke. They've released a yoke which has had quite good reviews from people that are using it so far, from what I understand, looking on like Amazon reviews and things like that. Yeah, but all round still very impressed with the Velocity 1. I've had it for 9 months now, or 10 months I think, roughly. Very good, works extremely well. Yeah, sadly it is, I think, night, but it is what it is. Thank you. Let's click that. Just refreshes the heading select bug to our current direction of travel, which is nice. You might have missed me do that actually. Just zoom in on it. If you click the top bit where you got the little up arrow at the top of the heading knob, so if we scroll it all the way around, we can then press the up arrow there and it just resets it to our current heading, which is very nice. So if you are flying on ATC, for example, and you get told, I don't know, if you've not updated this for a long time and it's all the way over here, and you get told you're heading 330 as we are now, and you get told turn right heading 010 degrees, you don't want to have to scroll all the way through 270 round, so just click it and then you can continue to scroll around once you're in heading select mode, so you can make things a little bit easier for yourself that way. Flight level 360, it's a very narrow flight envelope. Zartan, absolutely fine, yeah, go for it. Fill your boots. Be interested to see what that looks like as well. You have to let me know when it's done. I wonder if the weather's changed in Bergen in any way. ENBR, let's look at the latest weather in Bergen, Norway. So as of 13:20 Zulu, so about half an hour ago now, probably refresh soon then. Winds were Winds were 130 degrees at 6 knots, all the nines. Scattered cloud at 3000, scattered 5700, temperature -1, dew point -7, and a QNH 1010. But temporarily 3000 meters in light snow. Wind at 1200 feet is 120 at 15. So interesting little weather system, changeable weather system there with a lot of snow in the area, which would be quite cool to see if we fly in there. Interesting to see how that then affects the scenery too. Dursey 2, awesome, yeah, so far I think Dursey 2, you're the only one that's actually finished the Commonwealth Osprey Airways tour from start to finish. Great to hear David's making some really good progress. He's at Dominica at the moment. Sam Beard as well, all the way to Kiribati, so he's almost complete with that too. A couple of the hops in the Caribbean to do as David's on at the moment, and then hops up to Canada and then across the pond. Oh, Hergy. Is that your preference, or are you asking me what my preference is? I would still definitely say the 737-800 from PMDG is my favourite still for now. I still think the Just Flight BA146 and the Phoenix A320 are kind of hand in hand around the same sort of point, so joint second perhaps, and then the INI A310 with the Mad Dog probably the next, probably joint third as well. Out of those options, doesn't really answer it particularly clearly though. But yeah, it's really difficult to place those into a ranking, I suppose. It's all extremely close. They're all very, very good. How would you rank it then? Or in fact, anybody in the live chat, how would you rank those aircraft there that Hergy's popped into the live chats as your favourite from best to worst? Although when we say worst, they're all extremely good, so favourite to least favourite out of those is probably the better way of saying it. Yeah, that's another one actually. We've got Doha by MXI Design to check out too. That's sitting away in my thing.
In traffic, then I want to also taking off the runway. One.
Bad in traffic sign. 3308 is going around because of departing traffic. Next time, please double think about when you depart and when you enter the runway. I was at 500 feet.
Dust2's really enjoying the 146, the A310 and the PMDG. Interesting, Dust2 says, I somewhat regret buying the VENOX. Any specific reason for that that's kind of made you feel that way, or? Yeah, VATSIM, Headwind and Qubit are making the A321 for Microsoft Flight Simulator. There'll be some nice freeware there. Information advert. I love the fact that you're in cruise on over the Atlantic Ocean and you are streaming this live stream. That is awesome. Delivery saying PMDG for the win. Matt check as well, PMDG's on top. Sanders, PMDG 737-800 and the Phoenix A320 are the only ones I have of those. Sanders as well saying PMDG for him is the best. Slively saying PMDG, then Phoenix, then A310. Interesting. It's all, I'm sure you guys will agree, it's all very, very close together, isn't it? PMDG is lag 3, 100%, okay, 95%. Interesting. Yeah, it's great to hear what you guys all think, of course. It's all these add-ons, I say it all the time with scenery as well, don't I? All of these add-ons are very subjective, so everybody has a different experience. Dust2 says, I do like the Phoenix, but wish I spent the money elsewhere when I realised how much I enjoyed the PMDG 737s. So also I thought the fly-by-wire might stop being developed, but it's still being worked on. Yeah, I think fly-by-wire will be around for a very long time still. That is a great development group for freeware. Ergi says, I find the frames per second in the Phoenix, Mad Dog and A310 very similar, so it's amazing how PMDG has managed to get those extra frames per second. Andy H, looking forward to when the Just Flight Avro RJ is released. If the 146 is anything to go by, it's going to be incredibly good. 100%, yeah. Information Alpha says the only one that I've avoided is the Mad Dog. So had I until last week. Then Leonardo Software House sent it over to me to have a look at. After, has it been over 6 months since it released? But I think it's. I regret leaving it as long as I did to try it. I wish I'd have just bought it outright and just tried it out there, you know, early doors. I still disagree with the price. I think the price is horrendously high for what it is, especially with all its issues that it's got with textures, sounds being quite, well, just straight ports. Yeah, so for 90 quid, I really disagree with that pricing structure, especially when you can get the PMDG 737 600 for 30 odd pounds. That's incredible. Yeah, share those thoughts as well, Night Shadow. Hoping to see the EFB with the PMDG soon. Still no time frame for that anymore, but it will come when it comes. And yeah, Headwind A330 Neo is very good. I was supposed to preview that last week, a week before last, but I just never got around to it again, unfortunately. But yeah, they're making great strides with that freeware Airbus A330. Sanders is asking, is the CRJ still buggy like the early days? It's still got a couple of issues with it. I know you can still, certain routes and things around America with those vectorized sort of stars and SIDS, you can crash the WASM module, which then freezes out all of the systems on board. So I think that's still a bit buggy, but otherwise enjoyable. Lively's looking forward to the 737-900s. That's got to be coming out soon, surely. Brandon Chung, hello to you, welcome. How are you? Hope you're well. Lazarus is saying the longitude is slowly getting back its glory it deserves in the beta version. And VATSIM's looking forward to the Embraer 175. Don't forget as well, we've got coming soon that Just Flight POGAB Fellowship, which I think had another little preview video released by Just Flight the other day on their own YouTube channel. They've kind of showcased the lighting and things like that, which looks quite cool. Does too, yeah. Fly-by-wire does allow you to do RNAV approaches. It's allowed you to do that for quite some time. Originally, it was released in the experimental version, but I think around March, April, May of this year, it had the capability and even the dev branch to do RNAV approaches. I think might even be further beyond that, to be honest. Crikey, how much progress have we made? That's interesting. Those of you flying along today, have you noticed your navigaph isn't connecting? Oh no, hold on, there he goes. That's weird. I just had to refresh a setting. Yeah, the Fokker's a very niche aeroplane. Extremely niche aircraft. It's got NEDIK, and then we've got KOVIK and BADAB, which is then our entry, our transition into the star. 3 waypoints to go before we're into descent to Bergen. So if we go to Navigraph, still a little way to go yet. I feel like yeah, brilliant. FlyLife Studios froze. Of course it has. Honestly, if any of you guys are thinking of getting into streaming, do not use FlyLife Studio. It is rubbish. LKPR, ENBR. One of these days it will just work. By that point, Volanta will have released their overlay. Right, anyway, BADAB and then Octos at or above flight level 900 there. Sending over the fjords. Lecter, Lusap heading 351 degrees. Bravo Romeo 624. That's got a max speed constraint of 220 knots and an altitude constraint between 6,000 and 8,000 feet. So we'll be below transition on local pressure at that point. And then we're doing a little bit of an arc around the waypoint Gilva by the looks of it. All the way around to Bravo Romeo 620. Then we head into that clearance limit of Gilva at or above 4,000 feet. From there, we do another little right turn, 240 degrees to Gilva. And then from Bablu we fly the ILS 17 approach. Sorry, not, yeah, 17 approach ILS Whiskey. So we'll have a few things to tune in this. I think we've got the ILS course of 1099 there that we need to tune. We need to make sure the course is set as well of 170 degrees. We could potentially tune these VORs and things as well. And that's that descent profile. So our minimums today were category C aircraft, 370 feet. Which is 204 feet above ground level. And our missed approach up here, climb on track 170 degrees when passing 2,000 feet, intercept and proceed on a 170 degree radial, Bergen to, or Fleshland to Unzil, enter holding, climbing to 3,000 and expect vectors. Brandon says, have I tried the Vision Jet yet? No, I haven't. I tried the H-Jet. Flight Effects reached out to us with that when that first got released, and very much enjoyed that actually, but they sent me one which went out of date very quickly and broke, and I've never then had it updated. You know, I've got a press version which you can't update basically, so it's just out of date and it's gone. And then I figured I didn't really have time to fly it, couldn't be bothered to fly it really that much. Very niche aircraft, to be honest. I think it's the same with Vision Jet though. I don't think I can see myself flying it all that much, to be honest. As nice as it looks, yeah, I don't know, it's quite niche, not for me. Information Alpha says I'm quite excited to these new E-Jets. They came out of nowhere, and Bluebird as well. Yeah, good shout there with Bluebird Simulations making the 757. They've been showing quite a lot on their channel recently. Yeah, Dusty 2 definitely give the A310X another go. It is very good. 100% agree with you there, Hergy, as well. Bergen has got one of the most spectacular approaches in this part of the world. Might even be one of the top 10 approaches in the world. Hopefully the cloud base is nice and high so we see how stunning it is as we fly in on to the approach into Bergen later. Yeah, Automator, lots of aircrafts and developers hiring. I think we just had another ping about it, haven't they? Right, what can we do to prepare for the approach? We can do the ILS frequency that we just mentioned, 1099. 170. It's probably quicker to go this way actually. I wish the click spots, press shift, doesn't actually increase the speed of this. Really painful scrolling this. 170. So that's the ILS course sets. Oh, 100% excited for the PMTG 777 Night Shadow. I'm excited for any 757-200 that comes as well, but I do want it to be a decent spec. I want it to be a good high fidelity aeroplane. And we can pop in the MDA here. We're going to do a flap 30-40 landing. So it's full flap. Approach speed of 144 knots. A340-600 would be quite nice, but I'm not sure if it will ever come to Microsoft Flight Simulator, especially now it's retired as an aircraft. But then developers do purposely bring back older aeroplanes, almost as like a digital restoration, a digital preservation of the real thing, which is what an element of Flight Sim is really good at. What's that ping? Controller exam in progress at OIIE for an S2 rating. Asking for traffic. Working on a maybe an all-metal version of the MD-80 livery as well for Osprey at the moment. Automators looking forward to, we were saying it would be nice to have a 727. We've had this pretty consistent level of cloud throughout, haven't we? We can see down here a little runway flashing away, tiny little runway actually. What is that? That is Lolland Falster Maribou Airport, apparently. Echo Kilo Mike Bravo. So we're into Danish airspace now. Happy days. Chasing the sun as well. Hopefully we get into Bergen fairly quick. We've still got a way to go though. 49 minutes left. Yeah, Mark's pointing out a good point here. In this, if you select your descent altitude and click down on the button, it will arm profile descent in the PFD in blue and automatically descend when it reaches our top of descent, which is still outside of the map zone at the moment. Loads of fuel left. TFCI Designs MD-11 will be good. Very expensive though, but I think they've recently said that they're going to reduce the price. I think they have reduced the price, in fact. Well, I think it was a $5 discount, wasn't it, Information Alpha? Jeff, nice. What did you get? Said he's upgraded his CPU yesterday, getting about 70% frames per second boost in Microsoft Flight Simulator. So what's the spec that you've now got, Jeff, in total, including the new CPU as well, of course? Andy says a good BAC 111 would be top wish list. That would be epic, actually. That would be really cool. The really old school British Airways flights and things like that as well. That could be quite fun. Ian says, is your Octos showing flight level 90 in the MCDU? That's a great shout. Actually, really, it is, yeah. That's very weird. Octos is not even in the... Oh no, that's fine, yeah. That is intentional. It's a constraint where we have to be at or above flight level 90. But we've got 21, 40, 50, 65. We've got almost 80 miles, well, yeah, basically 80 miles to Gilver, 85 track miles to Gilver from Octos. So as long as we're at above flight level 36, at or above flight level 90 there, that's absolutely fine to be there. That's correct, as per the chart data at least. And then Dibmer, flight level 256. So you can see how the V pilot is going to want to act. Be interesting to see how it works on this first bit here, to see if the VNAV gets really confused. It may well do so. Oh. Loosap. Loosap at flight level 155, that's fine. And then BR624. Okay, there we go. So we go into the constraint. It's at or above 6,000, at or below 8,000. That's fine then. Good. So it looks like all the data's fine. Just a question of whether or not the VNAV can handle it. And then we want to be at Bad Blue at 3,000. I'm going to change this. Put that in there instead. Good, the return button doesn't work. And I'm actually going to change this as well. I want to be at or above, this should be at or above 4,000. So I'm hoping that might help stabilise our descent a little bit. Bravo Romeo 620 reckons it can get from 7,800 to 4,000. I'm going to put about at 6,000. Just neatens it up a little bit in my brain at least. We've got contrails for an aeroplane up right in front of us. is that? Let's have a little look on Volanta. I think that might be Peter, actually. It is. Information now for saying, did you hear about the Majestic folks as well bringing the Dash 8Q400 to Microsoft Flight Simulator? I haven't, no. Have they given a time frame or anything like that with that? Definitely new news for me. That would be great to see, those little Flybe hops all around the UK would be good fun. I'm not convinced Fly Live Studio is working very well. I definitely think we are over halfway. Ah, well, if it's in the works, that's good enough. Gives us something to look forward to. There's certainly a big gap in the market for those sort of aeroplanes too. There'll be a lot of people looking forward to a Dash 8 Q400. Night Shadow's loving the Osprey livery. It looks great on the A310, doesn't it? Paddy has done a really remarkable job painting it. Peter, that is you. Is it Rudolph 32 showing up on Volanta? We've got a little bit of Polaris radar online as well. Enos Center. Yeah, Polaris Control. They're not manning Bergen though, they're manning Oslo by the looks of it. I wonder if they'll click a button and extend. There's a fair bit of traffic going into Bergen, it has to be said. In and out of Bergen actually, Bergen's quite popular. Looking very busy. A couple of departing aircraft too, it's going to be quite enjoyable. Some fairly rubbish weather near to Stavanger. One 118.875. We'll just pre-tune that in and have a little listen to get an idea for the traffic in the area and whether or not he's controlling the little section of airspace we'll fly through. Basically, where the waypoint KOVIK is, we've basically got it's about you know, maybe 50 nautical miles of airspace that he's owning, according to Volanta at least.
Clement 2474, when ready, descent flight level 120.
Descending flight level 120, now Scandinavian 274.
I think you should be leveled by, go roughly by NIBD, so no interrush, just when ready, when on profile.
Yep, just now at the right point, I just wanted to ask you Scandinavian 274.
Som support på mig, contact Carmel Tower, 118.3.
118.3, you can support my bye-bye.
Magic, hello. Switch to my phone, hopefully explain level will keep it on so Avsim won't get upset.
Lima Bravo.
Yeah?
You...
Information Alpha, no worries. Enjoy the rest of your flight over the Atlantic. you still have got the crown of streaming from the most incredible place, streaming the live stream from the most incredible place. Enjoy the rest of your flight as well to the States. Good luck.
Flies. Hello, Red Nose 3233, flight level 230, descending 120. Now street 233, Polaris control, hello, clear journey for Lima, expect LS 01 right.
Did I miss Jeff's spec?
01 right, Red Nose 3233.
AMD Ryzen 7 5800X 3D with an RTX 3070, nice. I think maybe I'll be looking to upgrade to something similar to that soon, once I've got saved up a little bit more.
Not available in Norway, clear direct alert. Can you speak the West for 901 Golf Mike? 901 Golf Mike, clear direct Aluti.
Birdman says, do you need the runway elevation set to 166 feet? You do, yes. Here. Great shout. As you can see, it's oops, that's negatives. So 0, 50, 100, 150 is the closest we can get to for landing elevation, really. Or we set 200. We just get to the closest we can get, basically. Yeah, the UK is covered in ATC at the moment. There's the pressurization panel. It's still on, well, it's on normal and automatic. So we don't need to fiddle around and faff with any of this either, to be fair.
The other station calling you blocked by me, stay again. Polaris control, good afternoon, Scandinavian 126, flight level 370. And 126, Polaris control, hello, squawk 4007. Squawk 4007, flight level Scandinavian 126. Polaris control, good afternoon, Airport 812, over from flight level 380. Airport 812, Polaris control.
It is, and fog.
Walk 1224.
I can just about see the end of a street. I know Heathrow is covered in deep fog at the moment, so I'd imagine on VATSIM, Heathrow is busier than usual with traffic. We do like a challenge. I did almost think about switching the route, to be honest. If we weren't previewing Tailstrike's really nice Prague airport scenery, we'd have probably switched the route to Heathrow for the foggy departure.
Airport 812 identified. Airport 812, clear direct Aalborg, Alpha Alpha Lima. Direct Alpha Lima, Aalborg, Airport 812.
Maciek, do you think it's worth getting an RTX 3070 if I have an AMD Radeon 5600 XT? Great question. I don't really know the answer to it, to be honest, but I'd imagine a couple of the folks that are quite techie in the chat will know yes or no to that. Hopefully they help you out. Dusty says Gatwick, their weather looks fairly rubbish there as well. We go to the METARs. Let's have a look at Heathrow's METAR at the moment. So winds variable at 2 knots. 2,400 meters visibility, runway 27 right. In fog, overcast 200 feet. We have a look at Gatwick, so EGKK's METAR, winds at 080 degrees at 2 knots, 7,000 meters.
3233, clear direct Nosla.
Down to 3,000 meters. New cloud 3,900. Snow, nice. Good effort.
122.8, good afternoon. Scandinavian 126.
Bergen's still showing temporary light snow. Temporarily 3,000 meters visibility. Broken cloud at 3,000, but all the 9s, and still a 6 degree spread between dew point and temperature. Yeah, Peter, you need to use, if you've got Navigraph's Ultimate subscription, you've got the FMS data and stuff like that as well with the charts. You need to use the Navigraph Data Center to update it, as Ian said there. So you'll see, when you enter the Navigraph Data Center, you'll see PMDG 737-600, -700, -800 all listed separately. You have to install nav data for each one. and it will then upgrade. So same with every month when there's a new AirRack and Navigraph, you update the chart data and everything else. Similar story basically. Peter saying that there's snow forecast tonight in the southeast of the UK. Very nice. So Matt check, if you see Cat 3A on the charts, if it's got an A next to the ILS, like Cat 3A, then that would be an auto land approach with the auto land minimums. You might then also see next to it Cat 3B, which would then not be an auto land. That's probably the easiest way to just describe it. I would say if you can't see past your hand, you probably need auto land, which is also quite a good rhyme for aviation related stuff.
3425, no further see you and come 122.8.
122.8, 345, bye.
Doc saying, can you differentiate between visibility,
All stations, Polaris is now closed, Unicom 122.8.
brilliant, and RVR, runway visual range? That's a good question. So you see lots of different things on the charts. If I bring up the approach charts for Bergen's ILS Whiskey 17, we get both on here. So we have the RVRs down here, and then on the METAR that we spoke about a moment ago, we get visibility 7,000 meters, or all the nines, which is basically 10 kilometers or more. The difference between the two, the visibility is what you can see basically outside the window. The RVR, which is there, so for us the RVR into Bergen for the ILS would be, with all full runway lighting and everything switched on, would be 550 meters. That would be how far down the runway, so how much runway surface can we see if we're sat on the centre line of the runway, and that's where the RVR would come in. So it's basically you're sat on the runway, you're looking down the tarmac, exactly bang down the centre line. You need to be able to see at least a minimum of 550 metres for this approach, otherwise you're outside the RVRs. Mark saying, looking at the Met Office, weather radar shows the snow is going to go right around Camberley. Probably not a bad thing. Sanders is saying, what is the difference between a Cat 1, 2 and 3 ILS approach? That's a great question as well. Yeah, in short, visibility and ceiling height as well, the cloud ceiling. So Cat 1 approaches, they use your, you know, when you put Barrow into the, so the MCDU and the Airbus, for example, it uses your barometric altitude for a minimum altitude sort of thing. But the cloud base also has to be no lower than 200 feet. Visibility has to be no lower than 550 meters, because you have to visually identify the runway no later than 200 feet prior to touchdown, effectively, so 200 feet above the ground. In Heathrow today, those of you who are watching Big Jet TV on approaches and takeoffs today in the fog at Heathrow, only Cat 2 or 3 ILSs would have been in place. To be honest, mostly only just, it would have been a Cat 3 ILS, I would imagine, only. So Cat 2, ceiling must be no lower than 100 feet, visibility not less than 350 meters, 350 meters. Cat 3A, ILS, minimum ceiling of 50 feet, minimum visibility 200 meters, and the Cat 3B is no minimum ceiling, but there must be at least 50 meters of visibility. So if you start at Cat 1, you've got to have fairly decent weather, and then as the weather gets progressively worse, you rule out a Cat 1, you might then have to rule out a Cat 2, you might only be able to do a Cat 3. So it's down to accuracy and everything else, and the weather. See a top descent marker in about 130 miles, I think, roughly, or 120 nautical miles. So still got quite a way to go, actually. These 3 waypoints that we're flying through are actually quite far apart, interestingly enough. Good effort, MPS Gaming. Hasn't blown his 737 up on takeoff yet. Good stuff. Cornelius, welcome. Matchek, yeah, basically the whole cat approach thing is confusing, Matchek's saying. It is. But in short, if you've got a good clear day and you want to fly an ILS, fly a Cat 1. Turn the autopilot off nice and early and hand fly it in. That's the easiest one, basically. And then if the weather's really rubbish, like it is around the UK today, you're only going to be doing a Cat 3 ILS approach. And you might even just be doing an auto land. There goes Peter. He's turning at the waypoint of KOVIK. Watching his contrails bend away there. There we go. Yeah, Matchek, there's not really much difference between a Cat 2 and a 3 ILS. I think it just it's more down to, you know, increased accuracy and reliability and all that sort of thing. But yeah, as Doc's saying, basically in effect you're just going to be more so than usual in bad weather, just going to be flying a Cat 3 approach. If you then find, with the weather being really bad, you then find you bust through the cloud ceiling, the cloud base, and you get really nice visibility, then revert to just hand flying it in. So you can still reassess and decide, actually, well, hand fly it in. Or it's one of those things that you just have to make the decision at the time. But if you start safe, you can work down from there, can't you? You know what, I'm starting to think, by the time we get to Bergen, that sun will have gone down, I think. So we might end up with a fairly dark approach into the fjords. But then I suppose on the balance of that, we'll see the night lighting at the airport in all its glory too, to see how that stands up to the freeware version and everything else, and how it works around some of the quirks of Microsoft Flight Simulator 2. METAR lookup. Actually, no, we can just go to Flight METAR again, can't we? So I should have used this screen really to show you guys the METAR. Well, let's update it. Let's get the freshest one. So yeah, the visibility into Bergen is actually reducing. Look, it's gone to minimum VFR rules instead of IFR. Prague VFR rules. The weather, of course, out there was crosswind for departure, but nice and clear still. And the bottom one is the arrival METAR. So we can hit the old refresh button in about 20 minutes or so and have another look at how this has changed. But you can see the broken cloud at 3000, the temperature of -1 and the dew point -7. That's that 6-degree spread between the temperature and the dew point that we mentioned. As that closes up, so if the temperature for the next METAR becomes -4 and the dew point remains at -7, then the spread is only -3, so we can expect a decreasing visibility there as well. So we know then as well, having seen a change like that, then the weather is going to be getting worse. And there's that temporary warning of 3,000 meters in snow, light snow, and the 1,200 foot wind of 120 at 12. David, good afternoon, welcome. How are you? I hope you're well. Ian saying ground tower and ATIS are up at Bergen. Epic. They are indeed. We listen to the METAR, 125 at 250. Oh my god, it takes so long to scroll in this aeroplane. There we go. Let's do... The heck.
Wind 1,200
There we are.
feet, 120 degrees, 12 knots.
Audio ATIS.
This is Footland Information Hotel. Time 1420 Zulu. Expect ILS Whiskey approach. Runway and use 17. Transition level 85. For en route clearance request via data link. For contact ground 121.9. Wind 130 degrees 5 knots.
Yeah, Matt check. So
Visibility 10
the RVR.
or more. Clouds broken at 3,000 feet. Temperature -1.
We were just talking about that. That is if you're sat on the runway, how far down the runway can you see? Down that centre line. If that centre line disappears at 500 metres, then the runway visual range is 500 metres.
Remark, wind 1,200 feet, 120 degrees, 12 knots.
We'll listen to the METAR again, for the actual ATIS report for the airfields, because we've missed that.
Information Hotel. Time 1420 Zulu. Expect ILS Whiskey approach. Runway and use 17. Transition level 85. For en route clearance request via data link. For contact ground 121.9. Wind 130 degrees 5 knots. Visibility 10 kilometers or more. Clouds broken at 3,000 feet. Temperature -1. Dew point -7.
1191.
UNH 1010. Temporary. Visibility 3,000 meters. Light snow. Vertical. Visibility 1,200 feet. Remark. Wind 1,200 feet, 120 degrees, 12 knots.
Silly thing. Right, there we go. Let's flick that back across. Yeah, top of descent is just after BADAB. To be fair, should probably add in some of the wind data for descent so we can generate a proper forecast for that top of descent. So let me just scroll through my SimBrief flight plan and we put in some of the wind data into that FMS. Is it in here? I can't remember. You know what? I don't think it is it? We have wind forecast. Basically, no. Sure, I saw it somewhere. I'm sure it said forecast somewhere earlier. Might have totally missed it. Oh well, we'll be fine. If in doubt, descend early. Cornelius, yeah, I've got Tobii eye tracker. I only really use it on the ground, to be honest. And then once I've lined up on the runway, I disable it with a little keybind that toggles it on and off. It depends what would what you would use that sort of thing for, to be honest. It does have its uses. It's very nice with things like gliders. Right, I shall be back in about 5 minutes. Right, back. Progress page button. Cheers, buddy. I know it's somewhere. Who's that? Can you speed up on descent for separation? I'm just behind you, then I'll slow down. I'm already doing Mach 80. How fast's that guy going? There we go, descent forecast, legend. So let's put some data in. What have we got here? Altitude, I'll do flight level 200, 150 and 100. Flight level 200 slash 320 at 4 degrees. flight level 150 slash 320. Oh no, 232 at 0. And then flight level 100. 214 at 10. ENBR, what's the ATIS? I mean, that guy, whoever that is, could just slow down because he's asked Peter to speed up and me to speed up. Doesn't really work like that in aviation in descent. I'm already going Mach 80. Right, what's the ATIS? Wind, 130 at 5. There we are. So we've told the aeroplane now what the crack is. And that may have impacted our top of descent. In fact, it's moved it further towards Bergen, interestingly enough, by a couple of miles. That's a good point as well. What's our performance going to be for arrival? Oh, it's only a takeoff performance calculator. Tell you what though. Look how good this looks at sunset. Great work, Paddy, if you're watching. Current year, there's an aeroplane in front. Birdman says I couldn't get terrain radar working on mine. Is it implemented? It is, yeah, it should be. Exactly, Doc. I've said I can only try. Oh my God, look at that down there. Got to try and get that in a screenshot. The sim does look more and more realistic all the time, doesn't it? And now, oh, this is all default weather. There's none of that weather improvement mod stuff that you can buy. There's none of that. This is all just the sim rendering its own weather. There we go, right turn, which actually now means we're very close to top of descent, and we're right on top of Peter as well, actually. Right, yeah, we're going to have to slow down anyway. We're well in the way of Peter. Peter's got right of way, he's got priorities in front of us. And we got the VDev bucket already. Oh my good grief, we're already at top of descent. P-descent, let's go. So we want... In fact, oh, you know, I'll have it wound all the way down to... I'll do it down to 3, and I'll see how far this VNAV gets us. Looks like we're zipping underneath Peter, though. So we're actually going to fly through his contrail, which would be quite cool. Sanders says, am I using a controller to control the exterior camera? No. Literally just the numpad. Here we go. I think it's the first time flying through someone's contrails. That's quite cool. I think we might. There we go. We've literally swept above, underneath, and around Peter. So we're literally zooming over the. We were on top of him. We've now zoomed underneath him and continuing our descent down below. It's going to work out quite nicely, I think. Happy days. That solves that question anyway. So we want 200 feet. Let's set DH 200. Lots to manage now on descent into Bergen. This looks properly spectacular. But of course, as we descend, the sun is descending with us as well, because the sun's setting all the time. At that higher altitude, we hold that light for a little bit longer. Peter, no worries, buddy. Final check of the METAR. We're Information Hotel still, so that hasn't changed. ILS Whiskey approach runway 17 in use, transition flight level 85, which will be when we change to the local pressure, and that QNH is 1010. And if the weather's good, as always, I'll hand fly the last 1,000 feet as well. Bergen traffic, Osprey 165, Airbus A310, overhead Dibmer, inbound Legta. On the BADAB 2 November arrival, expecting ILS 17 Whiskey approach, Information Hotel, descending through flight level 240 for 3,000. Interesting, we can't set those yet. There's the weather radar, actually in use for the first time. I've set a -3 degree tilt. .1010, so that's going to be high to low, down you go, is the rule. So we're QNH 1013, i.e. standard pressure. The QNH is 1010. High to low, down you go, means that we're going to lose altitude when we go to the local pressure. So we're actually lower than we think we are. Crikey, this is a fast descent. 315 knots. Good grief. It was a sweet undertake, wasn't it, Peter? I try to be quicker, dog. Okay, down into the cloud in a moment. Look at that. Fantastic fiery visuals. We can turn down the brightness of the PFD and the nav display as well. It will help us on the approach. Bring that range in. 17,000 feet. Little stutter there, which is interesting. Bergen off underneath the cloud. We got some of the fjords just through those pockets of cloud there as well. And just below us as well. Looks great. Good grief, I just looked out the window, the fog is really setting in around here. Very good. I love a Bergen approach. We don't fly into here enough. Be a good add-on as well, Ian, wouldn't it? Perhaps maybe one day Microsoft Flight Simulator could bring that out. Be interesting to see what the aeroplane does here. So this next waypoint was 16 miles away. The speed needs to be below 220 knots. And at the moment we're doing 320. Turn. Bobber says it slows down really late. Do you find that it busts the constraint? Oh, there you go, now it's actually slowing down. But it's also lost the VDEV massively. So we'll whack that out. Make use of the speed brake. That's in icing range. We need wing and engine anti-ice. 11,000 feet. Lots of memos there on the status page. Centre tanks feeding, wing anti-ice on, speed brake extended, no smoking signs on, seatbelt signs on, air temperatures in icing range, and wing anti-ice on. Right, now I'm going to go to vertical speed mode. We'll continue a descent. I'll put the marker on our green dot speed, which is 214. And we're going to be through 10,000 now anyway, so all the lights go on. Overhead panel's really dark. It's one of these, isn't it? No, they're both on max. I don't really want to put the dome light on. Double chime. Badger's on his approach already. Zoom in here. VDEV is back up, so let's go back to profile mode. See what it does. And we'll get rid of the spoiler. There we go, we're now on the base turn, heading into Gilva. It's time to make our approach to Bergen, folks. Let's do this. We've got tower and ground online, so if the controllers are watching, thank you very much. Always nice to finish with some ATC. Keep smashing the likes as well, folks, while you're here. It lost the VDEV already again. Right, you know what, let's go 180, let's go to vertical speed mode. What are we doing now? We're doing about 800 foot per minute, we'll do 1200 foot per minute and keep working that descent now. We're picking up the ILS, which is good. You can see the glide slope icon there, indicating that we're above the glide slope. That's good. And I reckon 600 foot per minute will be decent for us. And we're out of profile mode now. So I might go direct Dilva. We've only got a few miles left to go though. Direct Gilva, let's do it. Approach mode. Tabs active. We briefed for the missed approach. Lights and signs are all on and set as required. We can't do any auto brake settings yet. Suddenly lost a lot of speed there. It's in throttle lock mode. Recovered it. Dropped below the green dot very quickly then, didn't it? So what do we want here? 4,000 and above. I reckon we can bring that vertical speed to maybe 4, -4. That's going to work out nicely for us. Approach speed of 142. That's adding the 5 knot wind correction for us already, so we don't need to recalculate that and worry about that. You know what? Let's go direct Bablu. Bergen traffic, Osprey 165, 5,700 feet, direct to Bablu. QNH 1010. You know, the old rule, high to low, down you go. We just lost about 100, 200 feet there. We're just above glide slope deviation. Sorry, VDEV, vertical dev. So we'll keep that rate of descent coming down. Good grief, we're in thick cloud now. Can't see anything. Where's them floodlights down here? Let's get that, those floodlights turned right down. Flat 15. Yeah, Mark and Thomas, thank you guys. Oh, great shout, that's why. We've got all the way here without realising we hadn't actually set the gear lever to off, like the 737, whoops. We'll go heading select mode now, and we'll flick that to ILS. We'll arm the ILS system. Bergen's inbound. Bergen traffic, Osprey 165, 4,400 feet, descending 3,000 feet, 5 track miles to Bablu. Change it to tower on frequency 119.1. Bergen traffic. Tower's active, still hotel, ground 1219. Let's tune that ready for after we vacate the runway. It's all go now. We weren't even squawking mode Charlie, whoops. What have we got for the course? 17. So we're going to go left 200 degrees. Spoil is armed. Auto brake set to medium. Oh no, no, Thomas, don't. There's a lot going on. Oops. 200. Where's approach? Oh, VL is already active. Beats to it. Information India. Bergen Tower, good evening, Osprey 165, A310 with Information India, 2,500 feet and just establishing now ILS Whiskey, runway 17, 10 miles.
Osprey 165, Preston Tower, hello, QNH 1010, score 6121, continue approach runway 17.
Squawk 6121, continue approach runway 17, Osprey 165. Was it 61? AFO, QNH 1010, Osprey 165. 612. 7?
Meter 27003, wind 150 with 3 knots, runway 17, cleared for takeoff. Clear back up 7, clear for 37.
Glide slopes alive. .160 till 4, gear down. Slight bit of overspeed there with a flat retraction, but it's fine. We're literally just on the limit. We just about see the runway, so I'll probably fly the last little bit in. And this is RDPreset's new Payware. It's not us. What speeds? Cleared land to runway 17, Osprey 165. Suddenly noticing a few little micro stutters here. Lots of micro stutters, in fact. Interesting. Okay. My controls. And that's confirmed as well. And fly the ILS. I'm just looking at the PFD, not anything else. Wind is throwing us around a little bit. Stutters are making it interesting. Now we've got sudden wind from the left, pushing us to the right, off centre. Fight early to get back to that centre line, nice and quick. My God.
And bound tower Nordic 963 with you inbound Gilda at 4,000 feet.
Oh, hey.
Nordic 963,
Land.
Continue approach runway 17. 1010 and continue approach runway 17, Nordic 963.
Lots of adjustments, just trying to keep her on the centre line.
Nordic 963, squawk 4601. 4601 for Nordic 963.
Retards. There goes the throttle. Reverse. Green.
Line up runway 17 away.
Look at that, 143, I'll take it.
Piston Tower, Nordic 173, good evening. With you, passing 4,000 feet, information India on board.
I think we've missed Alpha 5. We're going for Alpha 6.
Nordic 173, Pleasant Tower, hello. Continue approach runway 17.
Continue approach runway 17.
So MG King there saying use trim. You can't really do that much if you're in a situation where you're in a very transient motion. So if you're in turbulence, it's pointless trimming because you're trimming for a particular moment of air, but you will then find that the second it changes, variable wind, you're constantly retrimming. So this point is pointless. What you do is you kind of set a trim that is neutral to roughly where you need it, and then you're still working the controls. It just gives you less work to do. Tower Osprey 165 is vacated at Alpha 6.
Osprey 165, contact ground 121.9.
Ground 121.9 over at Osprey 165. Thanks. Good night.
Good night.
Ooh, big stutters. Where's the APU? Master on, start. Burger ground, good evening, Osprey 165 is vacated Alpha 6.
Osprey 165, let's go on the local preview 130.
Remote stands will be fine for Osprey 165. Anything heavy?
Osprey 165, not sure in that case. Taxi Echo, stand 27 and straight out.
Perfect, thank you. Straight ahead on Echo, stand 27, Osprey 165. We've got a custom GSX profile for this. We will fire it up and see what it does. So let's get rid of the flaps and disarm the spoilers. Watching the flight control surfaces there for the spoilers have dropped away to the closed position. And hopefully QATL is launched. Not yet. APU still firing up. It's going to keep telling us, isn't it? Oh well, we've committed to it anyway. We'll have aviator. Nose lights off. APU bleed on. And in we go. Oh yeah, that's the best landing I've done in the A310 so far. Turn the flight directors off. Can't see. Oh, there we go. So Bergen has its own, with RDPresets, its own.
Land ground, good afternoon. Euro West
docking system, safe dock system, which is quite good. So we're kind of following that. We're led by that at the moment. Now we've come to a stop because it's uphill. Get a bit of power in.
Clear to Longitude 5 to Charlie departure. Squawk is 2175 and climb initially 6,000 feet. You're with 1012. You're with 1012, feedback correct.
I feel like we're on the centre line. Yeah, we are, bang on. Performance has dropped off a little bit here. I'm also 50% M1, barely moving. I don't know if that's the snow on the ground causing that extra friction. Oh no, there we go. All of a sudden we've sped up. Proactive on the brakes. Waiting for the stop light to illuminate. Got to be about now, surely. Yeah, I'm going to stop now anyway. Telling us 4 meters, but if we go out, oh hello, still creeping. I'm just gonna hold it on the brakes a second. If we go any further, we will crash into the air bridge, so we can't. That will do. This is where I should have said a remote stand. My fault. No, didn't click that. That's an annoying click spot. GSX not having it.
Zero West 1012 requesting push and start.
Zero West 1012 push and start the bridge. QNH 1010.
Birdman says I get stutters on this too with decent spec. You're not alone. Interesting. And also the jetties don't really do anything, which is a shame. Let's get the beacon off.
Ground, good evening, Scandinavian 293 and road for Bergen.
Lots of stutters.
For the arrival, if possible. Station calling, let's send ground, say again.
Have to disembark from rear stairs then. We're going to see some funky stuff with GSX in a moment, I think. So here's Bergen. Probably quite loud to be fair with all this background noise. What's nice is they've actually done a remarkably nice job of modelling the terminal, but also got that extension section as well, which is very good indeed.
Yeah, I want to see this late, and it was mentioned that you gave clearance for a TP ability, but never mind, Scandinavian 293. Scandinavian 293, it's the DCM, it's data link clearance. It's if you don't want
this newer section here, got a bit of an internal departures lounge to see.
Ground, hello, Nordic 963 with you, vacated out 7.
There's a few stutters here. Very weird. The emissives are really good. And the glass is nice as well, it's crystal clear. Then you kind of pop inside, and some of these textures are quite blurry, but in comparison to the freeware, they've done a really, really remarkable job of this. Freeware is great for what it is. Doesn't offer the same level of detail than this bit of payware.
Straight pushback and startup approved.
It could be the A310 memory leak as well. That's the problem with the stutters. We don't really know what it is. Hi Gaming, hello to you. Saying DGS by RD is based on your view from the cockpit. Zooming in and out messes up with the system. No stutters at all here. Read a lot of others users mentioning good performance. Maybe A310 memory leak. It could be. It could also be GSX doing its thing. I don't know. But yeah, we didn't have any stutters in Prague. That's the only thing that we can kind of point out. Having said that, terminal building, this newer section is really nice, very detailed. The emissives are very, very good indeed, especially now with this nighttime, kind of putting it to the test, the nighttime hours with the snow bouncing off the various textures here as well. Nice touch with that Bergen sign off on the edge of the airfield. And if we look at the landside section of departures, look at that. Very impressive. Sanders says, I can tell this looks very similar to the real thing. Of course, yeah, you were saying this is your local airport, isn't it, Sanders? So, it's always great to hear from someone who knows the airport properly. That is the most important review of any. Bit of backdrop action as well. Oh, weird as you get. Hey, guess what happened there? Streamlabs froze again. Anyway, we'll wind the time back a little bit so you guys can see what it looks like at a bit more reasonable time with a bit of light. I'd imagine Streamlabs will continue to crash a little bit more. You know what? This looks even more impressive in the daylight. Look at that. Really cool. You know, Streamlabs might decide to go down again in the next couple of hours, or the next couple of minutes. Calling Osprey 165.
Just having some issues with our lists here in Euroscope. Is there any chance you could just disconnect and reconnect for me?
Will do.
Thanks.
Stand by. Just help the controller out. What do we got here? Oh, this is what makes Bergen so spectacular to fly into. Look at that for a view.
If you could just disconnect from the network and then reconnect again just 2 seconds later.
Look at that. They've even put in some ships and boats all in the fjords. So when we're flying on the approach coming in from the south, you've got clutter and boats and things like that floating around in the water. That's really, really nice little touch, a bit of attention to detail there. Some off-airport parking. A crane near to the approach as well, interesting. And what do we got? Scandic. Yes, great. They've actually gone ahead and added in some details in the area as well, so you get that. It's not just the airport like we had in Prague. It's not just the airport that's been modelled. It's all the areas around it as well to give you a properly immersive experience. And what helps is Bergen itself is a spectacular approach, regardless, even prior to this scenery. But what RD presets have been able to do is make a very, very nice scenery indeed. The only thing here is they've done effort, well, they've made effort look to kind of fight against the weird icing effects that we get on the taxiways and the aprons. The sections of this airport, but then you get onto the main taxiway and it disappears. So I'd like to see maybe the textures here on the apron replicated all the way across the airfields so that the runway looks clear, even if it's got a bit of smattering of snow on it, and the taxiways and things are cleared as well, because I did find it very difficult to vacate, to find the area that we need to vacate from. That was quite tough. Got one on approach, look, let's check out them on approach.
Nordic 642, we are ready for taxi. Nordic 642,
Old school citation or something there. Private jet. Here we go.
Taxi via Mike Whiskey, Delta and Yankee to holding point 17 Nordic 642.
The undulations on the runway, it's kind of why I've come over here. It's a very bumpy runway. Look at that. That must have been really painful to terraform and get accurate. It's a very, very wavy, bumpy runway, but they've done a great job of that. I think that was one of the questions that we had in Discord, actually. I wonder how the undulations look in comparison to the freeware, which is very good as well. But they've done a great job. Oliver, it's Bergen, Echo November Bravo Romeo in Norway. It's in the fjords. It's spectacular at the best of times. Very, very worthwhile for a flight. If you've not flown into Bergen yet, I do recommend you do so. Whether it be with the Payware or the freeware version, you can try both. This offers a little bit more. Really nice interior, very good emissives. And a nice environment around the airport as well. It kind of brings it to life a little bit. Good landing by the Norwegian 737 there. We've got the helicopter service with a couple of Bristow helicopters parked up on the heli stands, which are quite nice as well. And there's a tower as well. I do want to have a look at the control tower, so we'll zoom around to that. Oliver, it's in Norway. If you know where Stavanger is, Stavanger, it's maybe 100 miles north of that.
Scandinavian 001, push and start onto Mike is approved, QNH 1011.
Really good. Great apron textures around the heli section here. Nice models of the helos too. What have we got? Control tower. Have to check that out as well, surely. That's mandatory in these things. So I'll do is I'll pan the camera around so you can see the distance away. Interestingly, the stutters have kind of ebbed away now. GSX has finished doing its thing as well, so I wonder if it's a GSX/A310 issue, those stutters, because they have now gone. They put snow in the tower as a Christmas Easter egg with a little sticker on the ATC screen, if I remember correctly, Hi Gamer says, so we will check that out. Oh, look at that for a backdrop, guys. We zoom right out, look at that. Very, very good. Huge improvement in comparison to the freeware. This is very, very good. Really nice indeed. What have we got here? We've got a guy kneeling down doing something. Is he checking the heat in because it's cold? I think he might be. Snow in the tower is an Easter egg. And there's a sticker. Hey, from RDPreset, we wish you a Merry Christmas. That's quite a nice little touch, actually. On all of the different monitors there in the tower. That's quite cool. Not much going on in the tower itself though, but the external modelling is really good. Yeah, this is great. Night Shadow, yeah, we've flown into the freeware Bergen quite a lot, and that is very good as well. It's quite nice, but it's nowhere near as detailed as this. This is really cool. So there we have it. Tailstrike Design's really nice new Prague airport scenery for Microsoft Flight Simulator. our departure airport for today. And our final destination here at the really nice RDPreset BERGEN, settled in a spectacular corner of Norway, and they've managed to do a great job at really improving how this all looks, with the boats in the distance and the general feel and look of the airport too. It's a really good bit of work there. I hope you guys have all enjoyed the stream today. Thank you very much for those of you who flew along too. Make sure you hit like and subscribe as well if you've not done so already. Check out the links in the description down below, and you will find links to both of the Payware sceneries shown today, including this one, and the link to the A310 Osprey Airways livery as well for those of you who like to fly in our channel's airline too. And it's almost the end of the weekend, so I hope you guys have had a good time and enjoy the week coming up too. And I'll see you very soon. Thanks for watching. Take care.